Welcome to Beans, Brews and Bread today for February. What's sowing and growing? Well, we've had a few bits sown over January. We've done some chili peppers, some sweet peppers, but February is now the time when we want to really start thinking about maybe getting a little bit of an edge, getting some stuff started, if you're particularly getting protected under cover, mini greenhouse or even just a low tunnel or polytunnel if you've got something like that. So this month we're going to be doing some brassicas. We've got some potatoes that we're chitting. We'll also show how things are going on a little mini greenhouse in the house, also some of the chilies and the grow lights in the house. So let's go have a look. So seeds to start now in February. We've got cool weather crops like brassicas. We've got some cabbage. We're going to do golden acre primo, which is one that can be sown sort of February, mid to late February, beginning of March. Got some kale. I'm going to do an interesting little experiment with kale. We might do that later in the month with some of the plants that we've got saved over from the allotment plot, Nero di Toscana, that variety. Then we've got cauliflower all the year round. It's a great little collie that. Get those started off in the house now under cover, and then we'll get them planted out on the allotment plot when we've got them pricked out into individual seed cells. But for now, we'll get them started off on the Super 7. We've got the individual little pots and the covers to go with them. I've got a mix here of just general multi-purpose compost, and I've put a decent amount of vermiculite in this. This is what I prefer to sow my seeds on in the Super 7. So we'll just get a little drill done for these. And I'll not show the entire sowing process for the cabbages and the cauliflowers because you know how to sow seeds by now, but just a nice little row for both of them, get them labelled up, and we'll get them on the Super 7, get them germinated. So I've just got a few pieces of bamboo cane that I've got pre-cut to get a little, you can see there, get a little furrow done for the seeds. Like to do two, or you can broadcast them across the surface if you just want to do one. But I like to try and get max. We're going to prick these out anyway. They're not going to stay in the seed trays for long. We just want them to get germinated, pricked out, and then moved on under cover. It's a really lovely, nice warm day today. We've got what, maybe 10 degrees, maybe 11 on the temperature gauge. But yeah, we'll get these sown. Got the golden acre. We'll do that first. We will remember to label up this time. I tend to get quite a few free seeds through subscription to Kitchen Garden magazine, and I tend to just keep the seed adding each year. I know it gets fresh, it keeps adding fresh seed to the packet, and I know some of it might not germinate if it's from an old seed packet in there, but your germination rate is normally pretty good with cabbage, that you don't really need to worry too much about getting them not germinating. So we'll get these sown, quite a liberal sprinkling of these as we kind of go through. What's that one? Get them nicely sown. Not too much, but it depends really what your mileage is. You can actually get quite a lot sown in these pots and then pricked out into much larger cell trays to grow on. And we'll be planting these out in a month or so's time. Now, just for the covering up, we just want to give them a little tap over on either side of the furrow, or you can cover them with just vermiculite as well. I've done that as well. Just, you know, cover them with a bit of that and then give them a little tamp down, and we'll give them a water. The next ones we'll put in here will be the cauliflower all the year round, and I'll just get them sewn up, get the box labelled up, and we'll get it on the Super 7 covered with the little lids. I tend to cover them until they germinate and then, you know, open the vent holes so they don't get too steamy. But we'll get those and we'll get them out on the Super 7. There we are, the cabbage and the cauliflower all sown, labelled up, covered. We'll go and get them out onto the Super 7 now. We'll go down and see what we've got that we've managed to germinate on the Super 7 from January into February. Let's go and have a look. So we've got the last of the February sowings down on the Super 7. In that one we've got the cabbages, which I put together. That's Greyhound and Golden Acre. And in this one we've got the all the year round cauliflower and the kale Nero di Toscana. Now we did have the extreme pan, the chili peppers over here. I've picked a few out. Got some jalapenos. Unfortunately, we didn't get any germination on the Hungarian hot wax. Now, I was a bit concerned that these jalapenos would be far too leggy for pricking out and getting into the individual pots. The cayenne has been a great germination on those. They're right on the end. You might as well see them. But managed to get those into these individual pots. Now I've got this potting mix I've got here was mostly off Chili Chumps videos from last year, which was saying in a sort of combination of perlite and vermiculite and fairly free draining multi-purpose compost, and I found that worked brilliantly for both this stage and potting out into the final pots later on. So we've managed to get those out. Now we've got them just under the single grow light at the minute because we've had a bit of a failure with the breaking of the sort of octopus type ones with the long lights. So we've got some replacements on order there. But we've got some Chiang Rai, cayenne, a couple of those, a mirch masala and a jalapeno there as well. And we've got those potted on, and we'll get a few more out under some grow lights shortly. Less happily though, we had absolutely no germination at all on any of the super hots. So that's habanero. Also, we've gone Carolina Reaper, Bucciolochia. Absolutely nothing at all. So I think this year we've got one overwintered habanero, and we'll I think put that one down to experience. Maybe we'll not be blowing our heads off with any super hots this year. What we've also done this month is we've managed to find 5 seeds of one of the heritage varieties from the Heritage Seed Library, the beetroot called Avon Early. I've been reading into that, and really you should be sort of, to get best sort of genetic diversity from saved seed, you need at least 10 plants. I'm just hoping if I can sort of mollycoddle these, maybe keep them at home so we don't forget to eat, don't forget and we eat them, save the seed. And we'll see if we can get some saved seed from 5 plants if we get decent germination rate. Now they are obviously beetroot seed are in clusters, so we'll see how many plants we get out of these and see if we can get them potted on and see if we can get some seed to save from them this year. Everywhere I've looked, you can't get this seed anymore. It wasn't available on the Heritage Seed Library this year. So I'm hoping if we get a nice early variety, then we can get these with some safe seed. Other than that, on the seed front, I was looking to get a little mini patch going on the plot of asparagus, and I found a packet of seed, and I think we've managed to get maybe a dozen in this little tray on the Super 7, and we've got really good germination so far. So fingers crossed we'll get these pricked on and put into bigger pots. If we're lucky, we might get them out this year into a space we'll dedicate on the allotment plot. But very happy to see the germination there on those. And then after that, we've got some sweet peppers. Corona de Toro, I think a nice long one, and then a bell pepper whose name escapes me at the minute, and the plant label's facing the other direction. So shall we see what we've got here? With the Corona de Toro, we've got Redskin. So yeah, we've got those. We've got some fairly decent germination there on the Super 7, so we might get more sweet peppers this year than chili peppers, but I'll be happy with that. So we've got a few things under cover in a little mini greenhouse. The pretty successful so far over what we've had quite a cold winter, and coming to the end of that now hopefully. So things will start going along. Square foot gardening grow bags haven't worked so well over winter, and I think we'll probably just skip those for this month. We've got a few things that we might plant out into them when the weather gets a bit better, from the way of oriental greens and mustards, which I've overwintered in the mini greenhouse, and we'll get those planted out and might do a video on that into March. But it was so cold that the celery really struggled. The spring onions have done pretty poorly. They've overwintered the small plants, but they don't look brilliant. But much better is the little mini greenhouse, which we've got to show you next. So let's go and have a look. So just get through the garden, and we'll see how the mini greenhouse is done. We've had a few successes with the onion sets. This was the over sets that we had from the actual cell trays. A few have popped themselves out, but we'll get them put back in again. But the idea with these is just to get a sort of spring onion type harvest off these. In fact, today in the little mini greenhouse we have a temperature of, we're there, 15 degrees, are we? Have a look, see if we can actually focus on it. What's within there? 18 degrees. That's not a bad temperature. I've just opened it up to get a bit of ventilation in today. Red ones are a bit behind the white onions, but not too fussed with that. After that, as I was saying before, got the mustards and the like. Maybe some little mini pak choy. So I'm thinking they've overwintered okay. We'll get them planted out into the square foot gardening grow bags and see how they go. We might just go straight to seed, having overwintered, but we'll see. Up here, I've got good germination. A bit dry actually at the minute, but got a good germination rate on the Aquaculture Claudia broad beans. We did the video for those back in January. This is a overwintered variety, but yeah, we've got decent germination on these, and the rest keep them moist. A bit dry actually today with the temperature in here, but we'll get those watered up, and hopefully we'll get fairly decent plants to plant out. Over here, onions from seed. This is a Spanish white variety. Looking quite a sweet onion, but I'm really happy with how these have germinated. They're looking pretty good. So hopefully we'll give these a bit of liquid feed starting from this month. Castings there, maybe. Keep our eye on that. Don't want to lose the entire crop to a little baby slug, do we? After that, we've got the autumn onion sets. The red, much more ahead of the white onion sets are a lot ahead of the red ones. Some really good, nice, strong growth on these. So again, might give them a little bit of liquid feed, maybe some, seaweed extract. Try and see how we go with those, but really happy with those. And then down at the bottom, got the shallots. This is a Germore variety. Again, very happy with these, and we'll just get the patch at the allotment plot set up so we can get these planted out soon. But no, very happy with those as well. But it's feeling like spring might be on its way. Quite warm today. Unseasonal weather in February. If you compare last year's sowing and growing video for February, see what I had going last time. Quite good to refresh my own memory. So if you remember, I'll put a quick video card up and you can see what we were doing this time last year. February, good time to get your seed potato order in, so you can get your guaranteed varieties that you want to grow this year. We'll maybe park the debate as to whether to chit or not to chit for this month's sowing and growing, but we've got this variety here, which is Ulster Sceptre, which I think if you caught me on Audrey's channel Real Food Comes Dirty the other week. This is the variety that I think is marketed as Cheshire New Potatoes in the locality where we are. I've been looking for this variety for ages and I was only able to find one seed supplier this year. So I'm hoping that we can maybe keep our own seed potatoes going to get another crop next year from what we can store back. So yeah, key to getting these chits is to get these short, stubby, dark sprouts on them. And I've got them down in the cellar where the temperature's nice, relatively cool, under some fluorescent light. And we'll just turn that on and off for the day. Yeah, that's the variety Ulster Sceptre. Then got a second early variety, excuse the beer pump, which is Kestrel. Again, that's Kestrel. These were from Taylor's seed potatoes. And the main crop, we don't normally do main crop, but again, I'm going to, maybe give them a go again this year. And that's Cares Pink. I think Jessie at plot 37 was getting Cares Pink for her main crop this year. So, I don't know. See how ours go in comparison. Over here, we've got a salad variety, but that's marketed as second early, which is Charlotte. Absolutely love Charlotte potatoes for potato salad, so can't be doing without those. And lastly, first early variety, really want to get a nice, really quick harvesting of these, whereas the Cheshire New Potatoes, I think we'll maybe keep them a little bit longer. I'm really interested to see how this rocket variety does. And then lastly on the end, we've just got a small portion that we're going to be putting in some grow bags at the house this year, just in case we need to make use of the space. But no, very happy with what we're going to have as potatoes this year. Maybe dedicate a bit more space on the plot to these. Some of the stuff that we failed with this year, maybe us only select few cabbage, brassica types. Yeah, potatoes on chit. Well, thank you for watching today on Beans, Brews and Bread. If you've liked watching the sowing and growing for February, I'm grateful if you give the video a thumbs up. If you do give her a thumbs up, I can guarantee you 29% extra growth rate on your broad beans this year. If you have any suggestions or comments, so give us a shout, tell us what you're growing in February, where you are, then always write down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, then press the subscribe button, it should be flashing away down below as I say the word, and you'll be notified the next time we get a video out. But thanks for watching today, and see you next time. Cheers, bye!